Welcome back to the 80 Proof Gaming Level 1 Build Guide. I decided I wanted to do this again, except this time I wanted to be a little bit more organized with it and a little bit more graceful, perhaps? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a new character, and I'm just going to start at the top left and go all the way down through all of the classes, one at a time. It's going to take me a while, so, you know, don't hold your breath. Alright, so, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at some of the options. I'm not really going to look into every detail of every option. I just want you to have a pretty good idea of what is possible with the aesthetics on each class, so that, you know, if you do decide you want to make one, you've got a pretty good idea of what colors and things you're going to do, so this shit doesn't take you quite as much time as it does me. As you can see, eyes are all the same color because they don't have any irises. They've just got whites, eye whites. Alright, here's the various hair options. Whoop. As you can see, they all look completely stupid. And here are all of the outfit options. Other gender. Whoop, 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 whoop. Various hairstyles. I'm going to go with this one. And various outfits. I'm going to go with that one. Let's see, I had a plan for this. Okay, and yeah, let's see that. How's she looking? Just fine. And there we are. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull up a text document, or any document. You could go Google Docs, or maybe even a spreadsheet if you want to go hardcore. Write out all of the various things that you can put points into when you level up. And by that, I mean just the basic abilities: intelligence, strength, agility, chance, and major. So now we want to keep these in mind as we look at the actual specialties. So let's go into specialties and have a look here. Virility. The IOP is resistant by nature. He has an above average number of hit points, and it's a percentage of your level. Since I'm at level 1, 20% of level 1 is not a point. You know, you get it. Compulsion. Compulsion allows the IOP to passively and permanently boost his damage. That's, you know, pretty badass, sure. That would stack really well with the various damage tree options. We'll have to think about that. Authority. Sometimes IOP hit so hard that they're able to make somebody change their ways. If the target turns around, the IOP will become more motivated and powerful. 2% on close combat attack. Power 1. Power 1, and 1% is applauded. Plus 1 damage. Huh. So they have a chance every time they hit someone to gain a plus percentage to damage. Well, this seems pointless to look at now, since we have literally just compulsion over here, which just gives us plus 2% damage a point without any having to have a chance. But if after we finish authority, we wanted to... After we finish compulsion, we wanted even more damage, then we could go look at authority and see how that works. Show off. For an IOP, I think that should be an. For an IOP, a battle is just another occasion to show off. If you try and steal the limelight from him, he'll go out of his way to make a show for you. If an ally, CH, I believe that means if they deal damage, or I don't know for sure. If now our ally critically hits, perhaps, then you get preparation, which gives you plus 1% to damage. If an ally gets a kill, preparation. Okay, so if an ally gets a crit or gets a kill, then you get an increased damage percentage. Okay? Locking Pro. An IOP's mind is never too far from the gobble pitch. If he's always ready to mark and lock enemies, Ugh. And he's always ready to mark and lock enemies. If an enemy starts to turn facing the IOP, it will be locked. Interesting. So if I wanted to go to the tank direction, I could do that. Let's see here. These are your actives. Jump. The IOP knows how to control the power of wind when jumping. He can launch himself to the battlefield quickly. As you level it, it gets less expensive occasionally, and you get increased power. Increases damage done by the state's bearer, which seems to be a cumulative state. So, wow, jumping is a pretty cool ability. It gives you a permanent increased damage, or at least it seems to be permanent. Cumulative seems to suggest that it's an effect that sticks around. Alright, that'll take some experimentation. I might actually want to level this. I don't usually level a whole lot of active skills, especially not quickly, but that seems good. Defensive stance. Rather than rushing headlong into battle, the IOP takes a defensive stance, which increases his block. Oh, we're not gonna... Pfft. Instead of rushing headlong into battle. You're crazy. Of course I'm gonna rush headlong into battle. Of course it only costs... Well, it costs 3 at the beginning, but as soon as you get it maxed, it costs 2. You know, at 2 AP, it'd be worth it to throw that out and some other abilities. Bravery standard. Ever a courageous leader, the IOP displays his standard to motivate his allies and increase their damage. As for him, he gains preparation and is stabilized. Preparation, again, is an increase to your damage. That sounds good. Leveling it up increases the level of the effects, and at max level it becomes 1 less AP to cast. Flatten. Like the stupid daredevil he is, the IOP jumps with both feet on his opponent. Be careful, he might get stunned in the process. Interesting. The target has a lower % chance to be stunned than the caster does. That's funny. Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. As it levels up, the chance to stun on the target increases, and so does the chance to stun on caster up until level 6, at which point it starts going down. What a curious, curious skill there. At the end, it costs 1 less movement point and has 1 higher range. Oh, much higher range. Has 1 to 5 range. That's huge. That's a lot of mobility from Flatten. How much mobility does jump get? 1 to 2. It's always 1 to 2. I see. I think... Oh, but think of it. When you got jump maxed out, it no longer requires line of sight. You could jump behind the guy and increase your damage from behind. That would be so cool. You could just always score backstabs. Now that's a cool sounding build. I got to admit, I kind of want that to be a thing. It does cost a Wakfu point to use though. And up until max level on this thing, it would be completely useless. But man, plus 20% of damage when you do it, and then you can punch them in the back for plus 4% every time you have a level and damage from behind. It's pretty sick. But that would only work against people who are right up next to you in the first place, or that you could get right up next to. So only people within 3 spaces. That's most builds anyway. Well, it's definitely worth considering. What about when this thing gets maxed? It still costs 4. And you know, 4 plus 2 is all your movements without getting any attacks. Alright, let's continue. Increase. The IOP uses his mastery of Wakfu to increase his damage. Increase also allows him to enter the power state, improving his chances of stunning the enemy. And what happens when I level this up? It starts out as 1 Wakfu point and that's it. That's interesting. This might be how I really want to spend my Wakfu. And as it goes up, it just increases the damage. Triggers power every 2 levels. What do you mean, every 2 levels? Power adds a 1% chance to apply a 1 AP stun. I don't understand this ability at all. This would take experimentation, which is something I wanted to mention. No matter what build you really want to go for, it's probably a good call to play up until about level 5 without applying any points, or at least playing until you have all of these abilities unlocked and have experimented with them all to the point that you understand them. It's almost never a good plan to just go in and just start spending points, as tempting as it is. You should probably figure out what you want to do, then start spending points. Now, let's have a look at our spells, figure out how they work, and really start to figure out what our build's going to be. Jabs, 2 cost, flat damage. Good. What is aerial? 10% damage on next air spell. It costs 1 AP, so you want to use flurry and then use some other air spell if you're going earth. Intimidation. Minus 2 HP and pushes back 2 cells. Well, that's simple and easy. If you wanted to, you know, manage how many people are next to you, intimidation seems like a good thing. Gutting Wind. It deals 1 damage. Ah, it costs movement and not AP. Good, good, good. Uppercut. A fantastic hit which has a unique advantage. It doesn't cost any AP. It costs WP. This spell is great when used as a part of a combo. Is that the... Oh, I see. So air is full of shit that you can just kind of like toss at the end of doing anything else. By concentrating on the power of earth into his fist, the eye can launch a ferocious attack. Alright, well, it's just another punch right next to you. Rhinoceros is a ranged attack, doesn't require line of sight, costs a lot of AP, and can cause stunned. In this case, it's level 4 stunned, which removes 4 AP, which is very, very good. Impact. Yeah, it powerfully hits the ground in front of him, making it tremble. The impact spreads. Okay. It's a line in front of you, and whichever square you choose does a cross-shaped AoE. Good. Okay. And it also removes 1 MP at a 10% chance. Charge. You get closer by 2 cells. You deal some damage. Costs 4 AP. Only works in a line. 1 to 3 range. Costs you a movement point to use. And has a 20% chance to cause level 4 stunned. I really like Earth. All this stun is kind of cool. The eye up violently strikes the earth at his feet, creating a shockwave that hurts everyone in the surrounding area. I see. So it's just an AoE around you. And it costs you a movement point to use and most of your ability power. What's fire about? Fire is about setting people on fire. I'm shocked. 3 AP minus 3 AP minus 3 HP and applies scalded. No range, 4 AP. Works in a line. Area of effect. Deals 4 damage and applies disoriented. That's a new one. Not a 1% chance. Minus 1 range. Okay. Super eye up punch. This punch is powerful and awesome. It creates an explosion on impact. Cool. It has range. Costs 5 AP. Brings you closer to them and deals AoE damage. That's pretty sick. It's useful for moving yourselves around and dealing damage at the same time. Celestial Sword. Allows the IOP to hit enemies close to him. So it seems to deal an AoE around him and sets people on fire. IOP's Wrath. This one seems to have a massive AoE, deals pretty good damage. And costs a W point and all of your AP. Okay, this is all good to know. I think that the plan is we're going to start out putting all of our points into Compulsion. That doesn't have any real synergy with anything, but I think this class isn't really all about synergies per se. Let's see. Under this, we're going to go with HP to start with. Once we get into groups, we'll go with healing received. I want at least 1 point in regeneration according to missing HP. So I will write that down on the notepad and under that slot. This one, I'm going to specialize in... I think I should be ridiculously hard to kill, but my synergy would be with damage. So I'm going to go with the all damages and various resistances, whichever one I want in there. I'm going to go with lock and multi-target lock here. I'm going to go with... Oh, this is really tough. This is very, very difficult for me to pick. I don't want to make it so that I can't do damage from behind later. I really like the concept of damage behind with that jump back. But I just think critical hits and critical damage is probably the way to go for now. Alright, I'm going to go with critical hits and critical damage, test it out, and once I'm high enough level to be able to try the damage from behind and find out whether or not that would have been a good choice, I'll do an update video on that. When I finally get to Major, which is not until level 25, I think I'm probably going to go with the action point. It's tough to argue with an action point. It's reasonable to suggest that perhaps movement points and damage would be good if I can't keep up with people in this character, but I do have the jumps and the super eye-out punch to get closer, so it's possible that that'll be fine. Final damage and final reduction I need to consider. No, not range and damage. I could consider Wakfu points. I get 2 Wakfu points and I can always cast Uppercut twice with 2 Wakfu points. But that's not per turn. Yeah, I'd rather go with the 1 action point. Alright, that's the plan for now. I will do an update video on level 10 and let you know how my progress is going and how much I approve of the build thus far. See you then.